still the 20th of March, 2021, and I had the video that I just uploaded. I had in the middle of that, I edited it out because I had the little house I talked about in another video that was for sale for like $1 million. It was all fixed up by the German guy, but I did a video going down to there, and the lady said that it's not for sale anymore. So that's what happened with that. But there was, on that, I had a few things I wanted to let you know also. And one of the things happened to me when I was visiting here. I was wearing, I had brought my cameras and stuff like that before all the digital age stuff, and I had it was like a camo camera jacket, and a real nice one, and I was wearing that out, and I had walked up the road, and I saw a couple of policemen there, and hey, what are you doing? You in the middle? You take that off. They were kind of upset that I had it. I said, hey, I'm a visitor here. There was nobody told me that's the rule or law or whatever. I was asking them what law it was, and they didn't say anything. Just get it off. So I took it off, and then when I moved here, we knew a major. He's a colonel now, and in the PNP, and I asked him, no, you can't. The green camo, jungle camo, and I believe it's also the gray battleship type camo with the sharp points on it that they wear down in Davos. You can't wear them, guys. Don't wear it. I have some blue camo, and I have some brown camo. They don't say a dang thing about that. Like shirts, I bought them here. And they tell you also here you shouldn't wear a Filipino flag shirt. They sell them in the store. So I don't know. I won't wear one anyway. I got my little jacket, my USA jacket I wear, but that's something else. I guess a good thing to avoid. We were out in town today, so I had a shirt on. I'm not going to step on anyone's toes and try to get anyone ticked at me for any of this kind of stuff. So that's just a little tidbit, things you should know. I'm going to show you what they did on our walking path. I can't really walk down here anymore unless I want to jump a fence, but here's what they did. I guess they want to keep you out of the neighborhood. They put a fence up, and they're just keeping you completely off of that bike trail. So that's how it goes. I sure would like to be able to get on that because I don't have to listen to the stupid dogs in the mornings when I do my walks. But this morning down on the end down there by the wall, there was a gap in there. So I just slipped through that, and then I did my walk back and forth. I actually slip out sometimes. If it's still dark, I'll slip out past the park and walk in the park and stuff like that. That's a nice walk in the mornings. Some mornings, a lot of times Moo will get up, or Maddie will get up with me, and they'll come hiking with me in the mornings. Always bring the stick for the dogs. There are some dogs down there that'll cost you. There was one down here that accosted us. I had to take care of. It's just a lot of that. Our old neighborhood we were in the last video, we were watching when we were walking down to our friend's house, the one I thought was for sale. Just you dodging dog crap everywhere. I mean, these people live in this, and the dog craps, and they just leave it there. I don't get that. I remember when I lived in the States, if a dog came in and even pooped on my sidewalk in front of the house, I'd go out and pick it up if I didn't see who did it. If I seen who did it, it's like, hey, you picked that up. And most people do that, though. Every place I lived anyway, it was very rare that you've seen a dog just crap. And they don't, in the States, I've never really seen too many dogs crap on the sidewalk either. They usually go in the grass, something like that, which is not too bad, but it's the way she goes. But just watch your tire when you're here. What I've been doing since I hurt my toe bad, take care of your feet. This stinking nasty dog. It reminds me of Lieutenant Dan, the big Congo. rot of grunts feet off. This place will too, because all the stuff that's on the ground, all the dog poop dust and all that. And I'm going to get a bumper sticker that says "Poop happens." I started wearing shoes when we go out now. If I walk around the neighborhood, I usually don't, but whenever we go out, I'm just wearing that to protect my feet a little bit better. I whacked this little toe on my left foot. I actually had to go to a doctor to get it taken care of. It was that bad. There was just no getting the infection out of it, and it's what goes. It goes here. Like I say, if you come, bring Neosporin. They got a real good one called Bactrim here that works as good. Neosporin for just cuts and stuff. I really like that. And I had brought a bunch, and when my buddy come, he brought some, and every time people send us stuff. I can't find it here. Somebody said they do have it at SNR, but not in the 2 SNRs I was at. I couldn't find it. But another thing these stores do that really irks me, like when you go into any Walmart in the U.S., they're the same. If the stuff isn't on the shelf where you looked for it last time, they don't got it. It's how it is. But here they'll rearrange the store all the time, and they even did it at the SNR. They had a bunch of stuff rearranged in there, and it's like, I wish they wouldn't do that. It's hard enough to go through these big stores and look for stuff you want, and then when they rearrange it, and if you ask people where something is, if they don't know, they'll tell you they don't have it anymore. That happens quite a bit in the stores here. I mean, it's a regular occurrence. I just got to the point where I don't ask anybody for anything. I go look for it myself, unless we're in a department store. If we go up to department store, sometimes they won't have, like we found a S&M that had boxer shorts for me. And my wife actually asked the girl, they had boxer shorts, but not small ones. So she asked the girl, do you have some that are like 40 waist? And it's 110 centimeters, I think, is what the size. And the girl says, yeah, but they were in the back. So she went and brought out a box of them. So, she's like, oh, which ones do you want? And I'm looking at her like, hey, I'll take them all. I will take them all, because, and the funny thing was, they were like, oh, you can go try these on. In the States, you ain't trying on no underwear, but here, they'll let you try them on. It just made me laugh. Just the differences in the world from one place to another. I thought that was odd. I didn't try them on. I held them up, and they looked fine. I've got them here. They weren't the Filipino ones. It was kind of bad material. Most of them are pretty much wore out. They wore out pretty quick, even though we used them in the automatic machine. But we had scrub it on the rock for a while, so that's probably that takes most of the life out of your clothes. So we're thinking of taking a little trip to see our buddy again today. So we're just chilling now. It's the real heat of the day. Even for me, this is starting to get hot. It's because the humidity's up and we're just dripping. You can see how I don't know if you can see that cloud good, but when I start seeing that, that's a humid day, because they're rising up. Plumes, I call them plumes, and we've had almost a week of that, that kind of thing. So I just, even, like I say, even for me, this morning, I was sitting on the chair there, 9 o'clock in the morning, and dang, if I wasn't sweating, just sitting there, I was starting to sweat up. So that's the humidity. There's a slight breeze, but it's not too much. This is the summer, they're saying, I watched the weather, and they said it's going to be pretty hot for the next week or so. So, but evenings it cools off real quick, guys. Just remember that. The sun's down at 6 right now, before 6:30, and by 7 o'clock, it's just cool as can be. Everything cools off quick. I have to honestly say, this house that we're living in, it's the hottest area I've been in the Philippines. Our first little house that I did the video on, that was always cool there. And just how it is now, that house that I was going to show you that was for sale, that isn't anymore, that one's got only open in the front and where the dirty kitchen is, and it's always super hot in there. Everybody sits on the porch. One thing they don't do here in the Philippines is a whole house fan. I guess they don't in Germany, because the German guy didn't do it. But we have a really big fan, and I can go ahead and make a spot in the ceiling, and mount it up, because we won't be hanging it on the wall in that house because we'll have air going. But also it's nice to have in the evenings you can turn a whole house fan on and draw all the cold air and button the house up. The house is all painted white, and I plan on putting some fast-growing trees to shade the block everywhere I can. I could put some malungai, and I might even throw some bamboo in there. I'm not sure, but that'll help keep the sun off the block so the house doesn't get so hot. This house, it's actually not that bad inside. When we had our power out, and we were laying there, we weren't really roasting. Power goes out here a lot of times, because especially when it gets hot, because everybody's using their air conditioners. They're cranking these, especially in this neighborhood. You can walk around and you see these big units. See that big unit there? They got them hanging off. Everybody's got them hanging off their house, and they got more than one. He's got them up here. Everybody's got these big units. I opted in my house to just have them cut a hole for a small 1/2 horsepower air conditioning unit. I don't know how many BTU that is, maybe 5,000, something like that. I don't need big because of the volume, even though the ceilings are high. I was going to get bigger, like a 1 horsepower, maybe that's a 10,000. I'm not sure what the BTUs are, but my buddy Ronald, he bought a 7.5 horsepower. And he goes, it's way too much. He says they use it just on low all the time, and sometimes turn it off if it gets too cold. He said he wished he'd have bought the 0.4 one. And he says when this one, if it ever goes, he'll put a smaller one in. So that's why I opted for the 1/2 horsepower jobs I'm going to put in there. If they're not enough, I plan on taking these 1/2 horsepowers, and when we have company, we'll close all the doors and windows up and just let those 2 air conditioners on the second floor feed the cool air downstairs. And I imagine if we started in the morning and had them on full blast, we could probably keep that whole house pretty cold, for when company comes. We got Nanai over there and Charity when she comes back. We want to have a lot of our friends come visit, stay for a while. We have the tutor. She's not coming right now because she just got married, and her sweetheart's leaving day after tomorrow. He's going back to his job in Arabia. But then she'll start training him again. And she also said she wants to come out weekends. She'll ride a bus out there on the weekend. We're real close to this huge terminal right up by the S&M Mall where we live, and we'll pick her up at the terminal, and then she'll just stay the whole weekend. She can bunk in with the kids, and I don't think she has a problem with that. I think Faye talked to her. She'll stay the whole weekend, then we'll take her to the bus terminal Sunday night or Monday morning, and then she can get back. So that's our plan right now. So the kids will just get the weekend full. They'll get their each of them, I guess 2.5, 3 hours a day to make our regular amount that we pay her, the hours, the 20 days per month. And we're still going to look for a school there, a private school we can get them in through the week. I'm fully involved. Another little tip here I forgot to tell you too: when your kids are in these schools, don't let them put makeup on. What they'll do is these kids will have their picture day, and some woman will pull out a lipstick, and she'll put lipstick on every kid. It doesn't matter if their teeth are tree roots or they got herpes sores on their mouth or nothing. They start doing that. And boy, when that happened, I actually had a fit in the first school my daughter was in. Hello. So say hello, YouTube. That's our nice neighbor's helper. But watch him for that. Ever since then, I told all the schools that she was in a different school after that. No, don't ever do that to my daughter. You're not allowed to do that. That's a quick way to pass problems. And you do see, somebody asked me about the, venereal disease and all this. I can't really know anything about it. Nobody that we know even talks about it. Nobody's into that kind of thing, but you can see a lot of people with the big herpes sores on there. I've seen a few, mostly in the druggy people and like that, but we don't really hang around. So something else you need to watch out for with your children when you come. I said in my last video about these kids, absolutely, positively, 100%. This is where I want to raise them. I hope that everything in the government holds out so that I can stay. I don't know what's happening with this government going on right now. I just seen a thing in a newspaper. The U.S. is cutting any funding at all, or they're wanting to, at least. I don't know if they are. They're scaring them maybe because of there's been some people going against one faction in the government. I don't know which one. And then that faction had a bunch of people killed. They're saying, I don't know. It's internal politics, none of my beeswax. But you just don't know what can happen in developing a nation like this. So it's concerning. We're watching it. We're watching things closely. And but look at all the people who live here. You get away from these centers. We got the big lockdowns going right now, but you get away from here, it's not so bad. You see the barricades are starting to go back up, and the police things. And now they're talking about you got to wear 2 masks. Oh, 1 ain't enough. Let's have 2. Well, wait a minute. Why are you stopping at 2? If that's going to help so much, why don't everybody have to wear 50? I'm just not understanding all this stuff. To me, it's a muzzle. That's what they used to put on slaves, and look what they make to do the women in some of these other countries where they make them wear that burqa thing and all that out in the heat. It's what it seems to me. You look back on my videos from a long time ago. I wasn't buying this from the beginning. There was people before it ever happened were talking about that this was going to happen. Bill Gates himself. I saw people had pulled up on Facebook newspaper clippings of him talking about it. So who knows? You never know. All the information that you get, who knows if it's real or not, to tell you the truth. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Take some of these little tips. These are just from me, from being here for a good long while. Come here and tread lightly, and just you won't have any trouble. Some people are thinking, it could be bad. I had some people say, "Oh wow, I watched your video. I'll never go there because of the mosquitoes or something." All this stuff, it's not for Filipinos. It's for expats coming here. It's precautions. Just take your precautions, and it's just like you go down to Florida in the swamp. Watch out for the gators. I'm going to tell you that. And you go up to Canada, like up in Manitoba, when you're hunting. You better have a big suit on, so the mosquitoes don't kill you, because 50,000 of them will land on you and suck all your blood out. They'll find a big raisin laying there. So it's just warning. I'm just giving warnings, and you take the precautions. You listen to the locals, since the locals don't put a lot out. I know Filipina P does, but I'm putting it out for you guys to see. And it's just my experiences here. It's not all encompassing. It's what I've seen in the small little realm that I've traveled in. It's not all around the Philippines. We were starting to do a lot of nice travels and going to resorts and just having a blast. And then this COVID came in. Everything got locked down. I'm not even supposed to not even take my kids out in the car. So they're going to ruin an entire generation, guys. It's exactly what's going to happen. They're just going to ruin them. Now, when you go into these, like San Jose and where we used to live and stuff, you didn't see too many of the kids wearing a mask. My wife was all freaked. We're going to get in trouble because there was some police on the corner and all this stuff. But nah, they're not. The kids aren't really doing nothing. They're not really bothering, because most of the Filipinos I know just are not buying this. There was a thing in the newspaper that 68% of some Filipinos don't want to take the shot in the beer. It was a real high number. It surprised me, but they're not seeing it. They're not. You talk to some. We were talking to some of the old neighbors, Faye was, and they don't know it. Nobody seems to know anybody who's got this, and the ones that they've heard of, the people who have it don't even know they have it. So the whole world's going goofy with this. So it's just crazy. And now I heard there was a bunch of these shotguns of beers that came into this place here, and some of the seals were cracked, so they got to throw them out. Some weren't handled right and expired, and just crazy. And they want everybody to get this dang thing. They keep saying it's a shot in the beer, vax, but I'm hearing it's testing a gene therapy. I don't know how the FDA approved this. It was an emergency thing like the U.S. or not. I don't know, but you can't. They don't really put a lot of information out. It's like here in the papers. All they do is the government releases numbers of all the COVID cases they caught. They don't tell you that they're asymptomatic. Was somebody in there who did a little investigating and said that it was 70-some% of them. This is what this fellow's saying was asymptomatic. So what you're worried about? And then we're also hearing. I heard this also, and this was from I'll say phaser instead of the way it's pronounced, so I don't get in trouble here. But they came out and said that if you get it, you can still, if you get the shot in the beer, you can still get the convid, and you can still spread it. And, well, what the heck is this damn thing for? I've seen on a couple places that it's a gene therapy, and that it's being tested, and you're the tester. Usually these people who test this kind of stuff get paid. Now they want you to pay for it, and I'm seeing a lot of these things around here saying that it's the cheapest one that you can get is $3,600. Well, I know a bunch of people that have families, and between the husband and the wife, they're making under $20,000 a month. I've heard some that get $16,000 a month, and they're having to travel for work. Granny's watching the kids. $3,600 is a pretty good chunk of the money. That's a big chunk. And you see these people when you see their houses is very frugal. They don't got this kind of money. There's a lot of them that we know do not have that, and I'm just not seeing it. It's kind of scary the way it's going with this stuff. I heard another fellow say that just because of all these things, it'll turn into a super flu. Just from people getting it's wrecking the immune system. I said from the beginning, when they take that big Q-tip and stick it all the way back to in your brain, if this thing's so contagious and you cough in a store and everybody's infected, why do they need to go way back there to test anything? Why don't they just take it right off of here? Give me a break. Come on, guys, use your common sense. They're not testing something. They're either damaging something on purpose or they're infecting you with something. So I've seen this a couple of things from some doctor over in, I think it was in Denmark, where they were showing the nanoparticle, these little, looked like wire hairs that were moving. She actually broke one of these things open and put it under some pretty good magnification, and this stuff that was on there, these little strands were moving, and when she put them on some skin tissue, it adhered to it. It stuck. What was that? It just was odd. Was it fake? I don't know. I really don't know, but it was interesting, that's for sure. So I'm going to let you go. This was getting kind of long. This is Rick Shaw. You all take care. Pray for each other. Pray for your leaders. And I am out.